He'll be here. He's coming. He'll be running in at 5:59
Already 5:50.
and a half. I called him. I said, "He'll be pick you up." He's like, "I'm just getting my grocery order." And a half. Oh, look, I just heard myself. Because that's not creepy. Yeah. Chelsea. I'm going to back this up from that.
Let's start. Okay, I'd like to call the Ravenna City Council meeting for March 3rd to order. The first item on the agenda is a moment of meditation and silence. If you would all join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ms. Greger, would you call the roll?
Mr. Kelfi?
Here.
Ms. West?
Here.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Wood? Ms. Michael?
Here.
Mr. Maravich? Mr. Harper?
Here.
Do we get a motion to excuse Ms. Wood for this evening?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on. The next item on the agenda is delegations from the public, and we do have a representative from Reed Memorial Library. Ms. Young, if you could come up and state your name and let us know what's going on at the library these days.
Thank you. My name is Amy Young. I'm the director of Reed Memorial Library, and I appreciate you giving me a few minutes to address you this evening. Last year we started where we just wanted to give a brief annual update on some of the wonderful things we're doing at the library, just so you and the members of the public know. I put a one sheet in a colored copy in front of you with just some stats from this past year. We did create 1,240 new library cards. We do currently have over 30,000 active library card holders at Reed Memorial, and a total of 120,000 card holders across Portage County and beyond. We saw 116,000 visitors last year. That's down a little bit. Most of that was, we still saw about 10 to 11,000 visitors a month, despite the inconveniences during our construction, but that's why it was a little lower this year. We had 19,000 people attend library events such as story times, arts and crafts, computer classes, lectures, local history walks, and everything in between. We circulated 219,000 physical items and just over 66,000 digital items for a total of just over 285,000 items for the year. And that is a steady increase from year to year for the last 4 years. Some highlights from our last year. We had nearly 6,000 people attend two of our largest events last year. Reed Fest, which is a collaboration with City Parks. We kick off the summer with the Parks Department at City Park. Last year's theme was a cowboy or rodeo theme, and the previous few years we saw a couple hundred people attend that big event. Last year we had over 4,000 people show up. Second largest event was Midnight Madness. Midnight Madness, we saw about 1,800 people inside the library in those 3 hours. So two very large events for us, and they continue to get bigger and bigger every year. Our landscape renovation transformed the look and usability of our outdoor spaces, And we had our first outdoor event at the end of the summer, which was a Bluey party for our families. We had the Bluey characters show up from the favorite TV show. And we had over 200 children and families in attendance for that event. We shared the total solar eclipse with over 200 people at our watch party. Thank you to the city for allowing us to use the space of the old high school. We had over 200 people, and we welcomed people from as far away as Virginia, Texas, Pennsylvania, and even New York. Some new services and materials that were being offered in 2024. We started our bookworm boxes. These are curated boxes of reading, crafts, fun activities inside a box. The kids get to keep the activities and usually a little surprise inside, and they just return the box and the books to us. We do actually offer that for all ages, including some adult boxes. We started passport services to the community in March of last year. We're doing more and more. And in fact, the post office here in town has started to kind of cut back on that, and they're starting to send everyone to us. So that's become an even greater need in 2025. And it's become very popular since we are open in the evenings and on the weekends. It allows those that work during the week to still be able to do that on their own time. We also started laminating services in 2024, and for $1 you can laminate a sheet. We did add to our museum passes, which are hugely popular. Patrons can check out a museum pass for a week, and they can go to Akron Children's Museum, the zoo, the art museum, the botanical gardens, Stan Hewitt House, and many others. And we also, with a collaboration with some of the insurance agents in town, we started circulating traffic cone kits so that teenagers and those hoping to get their driver's license, wanting to practice the maneuverability before taking their test, can check out the cones and poles in order to practice on their own time. Finally, we launched a seed library in 2024. Patrons can take seeds from our library. They can also bring us seeds from their own harvest or from their own collection. And that was also another hugely popular service that we started. We see everything from wildflowers, local flowers, vegetables for your garden, fruits, things like that. So that's been very exciting. We do have some exciting things coming up in 2025, and we're already starting to plan. This year's summer kickoff with the Parks Department will be pirate themed. We're going with a Treasure Island theme this year. We've already started gathering steel drum bands, food trucks, and dessert trucks. We'll have the snow cone machines out again. So we'll have we're looking at like buried treasure activities and sword fights and walk the plank. And so we're excited to host that again this year. We just finished planning our first ever summer concert series, which will be held from May through September, one Sunday afternoon each month. We have 5 bands total, so we will have a string trio, we'll have a jazz quartet, we will have a children's band with a sing-along with like Disney songs and kind of like a kids bop kind of a thing. So that's happening. And then we also have 2 local cover bands who will be, you'll see your very own Rob Karras playing this summer.
All right.
So we are excited to host that. And with those concerts, we'll also have our food trucks back this summer, so looking forward to that. Some new items you can see for circulation and for checkout this year include exercise equipment. So if you'd like to try something new like yoga, weight training, things like that, you can check out some equipment from the library and try it, see if you want to continue or just return it. No problem. We also have a collaboration with the Portage County Parks to circulate nature bags. These are bags that will contain a book about a nature topic. For example, one of them is amateur bird watching. You can check out a couple of books on different bird species and types of habitats and things like that. You might find binoculars in there for bird watching, and different pamphlets and educational material from the Parks Department as well. And one of our most exciting new items for circulation are Roku sticks. So we will start distributing Roku sticks. Each stick will have a different streaming application on it. So like you might check out one which will give you access to Netflix for a week, or one that might give you access to Paramount Plus in case you need to binge watch your Yellowstone, or 1923 just came back. We'll also have Disney, Apple TV, Hulu, Peacock. So you'll be able to check those out and keep those for a week to do all your binge watching at our expense instead of your own. So we're very excited for what happened in 2024, and we are even more excited about the great things to come in 2025. So I thank you for your time and have a good evening.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Young?
It's exciting to hear about all the different services that you have. When you say that you provide passport services, what does that entail?
So we are a passport acceptance facility, which means if you are wanting to get a new passport or your passport is expired, you can come with your application. We'll check all the documents, approve that application, and get it sent off to the Department of State for you.
Okay. Then also on the museum tickets, is that listed on the website with the different museums that you have?
It is.
Okay.
So yes, there are many of them. And we started this in 2023, but we did add some new ones in 2024.
When you say patron, does that mean library card? Is that the same as being a
A
library?
library card holder. Mhm.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Thanks.
Yes. Most of our items circulate to all of the libraries in Portage County, but the museum passes are specific to Read card holders. So you have to be a Read patron in order to check those out.
Oh, and one last question. What was the month that the summer concert series was starting again?
It's going to start on Mother's Day. May 11th is our first date. We'll host a concert on Father's Day, and then we have a date in July, August, and our last date is September 7th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's so exciting to hear what goes on in the library. It's not just a matter of going and reading books anymore. And it's really exciting to see all the diversity of things that you actually check out. Most people don't really think about the library providing those types of services. So I'm sure everyone in the city is very grateful for the ability to take advantage of it. And especially the streaming thing. That was a surprise to me. I wouldn't have expected the library to be able to do that, but that sounds really exciting.
We go and check out board games.
Do you?
You can check out board games. So when we want to try a board game, we can try it before going to buy it.
Cool. All right, thank you, Ms. Young. Moving on in the agenda, before I move on, Coleman Health Services was scheduled on the agenda to present, but I believe they're coming next month. But I will ask if anybody else present would want to speak tonight to City Council. If so, please raise your hand. We have a gentleman in the back. Please come up to the microphone, state your name and address.
Jerry Moore. What I'm here for is about the water problem I'm having. I was up here before, and I talked to Frank, and he said that they would take a look at that problem I got going on. It flooded twice in 1 week. I don't know whatever they did out on the street, but that's when the problem started. So I went and got a plumber, which is Mays Plumbers, and they found nothing. They said the problem was on the other side, which would be the city. Now, they said something about we need cameras. Well, the mayor said that they would take care of that part. So I'm trying to figure out why I have to do that when they said they would take care of that. I've been back and forth with this. Nobody wants their basement flooded. So I need some cooperation here, and I'm getting no cooperation like I think I should. This problem needs to be solved. I want answers.
Does anybody want to respond?
Yeah, we have communicated with you, Jerry. Dominic has, Tim has,
No.
we had, there's emails, I was part of the email.
Whole pack of them right
I've been
here,
part of the
Jerry.
email chain, but ultimately, your 2 flooding incidents were in August, correct?
I've been back and forth with it, so it carried over all the way up until November or whatever.
So you flooded since August?
I flooded twice in 1 week, whatever they did out on the,
But
on the
when was that?
street.
So I'm just trying
That
to
was
determine
probably
because,
the 8th month, I do believe, I'm not sure
which is
what month
August.
it was.
Okay. And the difficult part in our position is to help the residents that have the same issue as you've had, because many folks in this town, as council members can tell you, had flooded basements due to those August rains. Your sanitary line is a lot deeper than the construction of what we did on Main Street in front of your driveway and your house.
I had no problems before until they did whatever they did out on the street. I don't know about anybody else's problem. I'm talking about my problem.
So our sanitary, in fact, we have a junction box in front of your house. It's 10 plus feet deep. We just put a lid on that. We didn't do anything with the sanitary. Your lateral is probably 4 or 5 feet deep. So you're way below our construction. We didn't get into anything. Unfortunately, our sanitary system during rain events takes on water, groundwater, and it inundates the system. And it does back up, as council members can tell you, it backed up into people's basements, unfortunately. And we can't financially fix the sanitary system in town, being that it's in many places well over 100 years old. We know there's deficiencies. There was a decision, I think back in 2004, and then prior to that, where they decided they would expand the wastewater plant instead of trying to find the I&I, which is inflow and infiltration into the system. What we've recommended to other residents that have had repeated basement issues from rain events is to put a backflow valve on the outside of their house, so then it'll shut off and it won't back up into their house. It'll stop it outside.
Okay.
So unfortunately, we'll cross our fingers that this never happens again. We don't see the rain event like we did August 17th.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna happen again. If it happened twice in 1 week, I'm sure it's gonna happen again. That's why I was trying to take care of this before spring started.
So our recommendation would be to put a backflow preventer on the outside of your house on a sanitary line. That's what we've recommended other residents to do.
Okay.
Mr. Moore, just so we understand, city council is a part of the city government, but the mayor and the rest of his administration are the people who actually maintain and fix, if it's necessary, the infrastructure of the city. You're welcome anytime to come to our regular meetings and speak, but I just want to make sure you understand, we have no authority to compel the mayor or the administration to do anything. So you really need to be communicating with them about any specific problem. But again, you're welcome to come here any month to speak. We offer that forum. But we can't, even if we wanted to, do anything as council members to help you.
We have camera at our main lines in your neighborhood, and they are free and clear. We don't have blockages. We don't see blockages. We don't see bad pipe that's backing up. Generally, the rule is if one neighbor is having a problem, but not the other neighbors, it's more of a localized issue. This particular rain event, we had multiple issues throughout the whole city.
There's other neighbors in my neighborhood that have problems too.
Sure.
Do know that for a fact.
And I did get the report from Mays that did state that, your line is free and clear. And your line is free and clear, our line is free and clear. So it leaves evidence that it was just a nasty rain event that we hope to not see again in our lifetime.
But when it did rain, it didn't even rain that hard when that backed up, is what I'm saying.
But what date was that?
I don't know.
Okay. It would help us to understand that.
Sometime in August. That's
Well, and
all I
again,
know.
August 17th and August 3rd, I think, was the other event. You know, and Bill saw it at the wastewater plant, the spike of water. It's
Okay.
unfortunate. We certainly feel for you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Does anybody else wish to speak to council tonight? Not seeing anybody, we'll move on. The next item is the approval of the agenda. This is always a good time for any council member to decide to take something out of the consent agenda and put it in the regular agenda if you so choose. Does anybody wish to do that? Does anybody have any adjustments to the overall agenda? If not, then could we get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, the next item is the consent agenda. You can see we have our typical communications, minutes, and then various ordinances that we've agreed upon that didn't need a full discussion. Can we get a motion to, oh, I forgot, I got to read the motion. I always forget to do that. Bear with me just for a second here. Okay. Is there a motion to dispense with the requirements of the city charter and the revised code of Ohio with reference to reading on 3 different days and adopting emergency clauses and approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Can we get a roll call?
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Thank you. The consent agenda is approved. Moving on, the next item is reports from committees. We'll start off with utilities. Mr. Moskin?
Do we have
Did I miss something?
invited city official?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Brigant?
Oh, you see, you put it right.
Was it
You
the
printed
bottom?
out at the very bottom.
Very last line.
Oh, my God, I'm so sorry.
Good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Bill Brigant, Superintendent of the Wastewater Treatment Plant. Been with the city for 31 years, 13 as superintendent. I'll give you a brief overview on the plant. This is the first time I've done this, so I'm not positive what you guys want. In the last year, 2024, I've spent a lot of time and effort on the assessment that's going to be coming next Monday. We're going to talk about it at length, PowerPoint presentation from CT Consultants. In the last year, we've also focused a lot on the lift stations out throughout town in the collection system. Freedom Street Lift Station got a new generator. I don't know if anybody's driven by lately and noticed a nice new fence and generator out there. Lover's Lane Lift Station is actually under construction today. They started digging for an electrical upgrade and preps for a generator here, hopefully later this year, maybe next year. We had an unfortunate incident at Maplewood Lift Station earlier this year where a drunk driver wiped out the entire station. We had to get it back online within a month. I applaud everybody involved in that. It went smoothly. We don't really have too many issues at the plant regarding EPA limits or capacity. It's more of an aging issue. Some of our equipment's aging. The last update of the plant was in 2004. That didn't update everything at the plant. It updated some of it. Most of the front end of the plant, little undersized, and it's definitely getting some age on it. So Rob and I and Tim and Bob just recently also selected a consultant for a new trunk sewer line from the Chestnut Street Lift Station that should help with some of the issues in that area. And we also, the assessment I hope to have in your inbox tomorrow, so you guys can take a look at it before we talk about it next Monday. And also, I know Mr. Karras is coming next Thursday to the plant at 1 o'clock. That's an open invitation for anybody that wants to come down, take a tour of the plant. Sometimes it helps get eyes on everything. You know, I have a good staff at the plant. We're lucky. I have a lot of experience along with some youth. And it's, you know, we're in a good spot with all the guys that work there. No issues to speak of. They all know their job well and make my job easier. Any questions?
If any-
You man the facility 24 hours a day?
No.
No?
We don't. We have not done that since 2013.
Okay, we stopped that then.
Yep. We put in a SCADA system, and one operator is on call every week. That changes every week. That's one of the difficulties that we've had at the plant over the years is when I first started there, you could fix everything there with a wrench and some grease. Now, because of the technology improvements, it does make us more efficient, makes us better operators, but it also gives us problems when something goes wrong because we can't fix those things. We have to call in somebody. They're proprietary issues normally. I shouldn't say more difficult, it's just different. It's different now than it used to be. So the cost that used to be for employees to man the place has now kind of shifted over to maintaining the equipment that we have.
So we were actually operating with less employees now than
Yes.
we did in 2013?
Oh, yes, yes. When I first started in 1994, I want to say we had 12 operators. And right now we have 5 full-time, 1 split, a maintenance man, a chemist, and myself. So we have reduced costs through attrition. Nobody lost a job or anything like that, but through attrition, we don't need as many guys as we used to. And we've also compressed, so we're not spread out, one guy on a shift all by himself in the middle of the night. Now it's more, 4 or 5 guys there throughout the day so we can get more done in-house rather than have to hire things out.
And then on the evaluation that you say we're going to receive from CT Consultants,
Yes.
what would you kind of let us know beforehand when we receive it in the next day or so? What is it that the goal of that evaluation was? What are we wanting to gain from looking at that?
I would say a future capital plan at the wastewater plant to get us through the next 30 to 40 years. 'Cause like I said,
Prioritizing the list
Okay.
of improvements.
like I said, the last upgrade was in 2004. That's even getting to be 20 years ago now, 21 years ago. That didn't touch some parts of the plant. Some parts are from the 60s, 70s. There's even tanks that were operating from the 40s still. So it's just the front end of the plant, and also is going to tie into whatever we do at the Chestnut Street lift station is going to dump into the front end of the plant. It's has the potential to overwhelm the front end as it is right now.
I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on some of the questions, but the possible expansion of the line from Chestnut Street out there will greatly increase the volume of water that you're going to receive. Are the existing tanks able to take that if we put that line in now?
We're going to talk about that next
We've got to
Monday.
talk about that, okay.
The short answer is I don't think so.
Okay.
It is kind of amazing. I mean, I think our residents take for granted the water we provide and then the waste we get rid of. But just that one meeting I had, it exposes someone like me who doesn't really know much about this stuff and isn't really science-oriented, just how complex, how important it is that we keep those things operational and up to date. And so it's a bit of an education, but I think the better part of the education is realizing how valuable it is.
Sure.
And and water is probably the most valuable resource this city provides. And so we have to really keep our focus on making sure that we're paying attention to how we deliver the water and then how we get rid of it. In spite of what some residents may think of, it's a city's fault if, no matter what happens.
And I will say that the tour out there is probably one of my favorites because it really is fascinating to see how it flows and operates. And it's just neat to see how the wastewater treatment plant works. So if you have not been out there to kind of see the full scale of what it does, I highly recommend it.
Thursday.
1 o'clock.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I'm really excited about the assessment and the changes that'll be coming within the next several years of the improvements.
Okay.
Thank you.
All set?
Thank you, Mr. Grant.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, and now we will move on to reports from committees, and we'll start off with utilities. Mr. Moskin?
Yes, there'll be one thing on the agenda for next week.
Information systems, Mr. Maravich?
I believe we may have an updated contract. I'm waiting to hear back from Jonathan, so I'll let you know if we actually have that one yet.
Are you referring to the item that's on the agenda tonight?
I believe that one is. My laptop has since passed, so.
Second
Good for that
reading
one.
of the Lightspeed contract?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Ms. West, planning?
To be determined for next week. Oh, wait, actually, no, we're having a meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
11 meeting. Committee of the whole will be Monday, March 24th at 6 o'clock. The next committee is Public Health and Safety. Ms. Michael?
To be determined about next week. I will be meeting with Tammy and the law director to come up with some guidelines on the opioid money that we have on distribution of that. So we will be working on that. Whether or not it'll be ready for next week, I don't know. Also, we do have some ordinance 2025 tonight, 007 coming before us. So other than that, nothing else.
Thank you. Streets and sidewalks, Mr. Harper.
To be determined for next week at this time.
Personnel, Dr. Calfee.
Yes, we will have a committee meeting next week.
Ms. Wood's not here tonight, so we'll skip the Community and Economic Development report. The cemetery, Mr. Moskin, Ms. West, do you have anything to report tonight?
Yeah, so we're going to be getting a report from a consultant, don't know exactly what date, pertaining to the chapel, an assessment exactly getting a much better idea what will need to be done, and hopefully a narrow down cost on those, on the chapel itself,
All right, which is in need of repair.
drastically.
Ms. West, do you have anything to add?
No, I think that was the big item. If any, the chapel is pretty neat. The windows are amazing. There's a lot about it to be saved if possible. So this is a great opportunity for us to see if we're even able to save it in the first place and what the plans are and kind of do some, down the road planning for the chapel and how we're going to get there,
We're going to get the money.
and where we're going to get the money. But we don't know what the money's going to look like to even know where we're going to get the money, so.
Okay, thank you for that report. Parks and Recreation, Mr. Maravich?
Don't have that with me, but I'll get that emailed out. I do know that some of the soccer fields are being prepared for some upcoming events.
Okay, thank you. We will now move on to first reading of ordinances. The first ordinance is ordinance number 2025-006.
An ordinance amending the codified ordinances of the City of Ravenna, Section 12, Planning and Zoning Code, Title 6, Zoning, Chapter 1268, Use Area and Height Regulations, Section 1268.07, C1 Commercial District, Subsection C, Conditionally Permissible Uses, by removing Health Spa and Fitness Center from Section 1268.07, Section B, Section 8D, and adding Health Spa, Fitness Center, and Massage Establishment to Section 1268.07, Section C, 22, as conditionally permissible use.
This is sponsored by the Planning Committee. Ms. West?
As it reads, we've been talking about this for quite some time. I'm not going to hold it up any longer.
Well, this is the conditionally permitted use.
Yes,
Yeah, we've been
But
talking.
we had
all
the
know what
public hearing was it last week?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's-
But this is the first time it's appeared on our agenda.
no, but it's been a topic of discussion for a very long time.
True. It should be noted there is no emergency clause attached to this ordinance. Anybody have any comments, questions about this? If not, is there a motion to waive the 3 separate readings?
So moved.
Second,
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. West?
yes.
Sorry. Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Calfee?
Yes,
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And do we have a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Moskin.
Yes, either way.
Thank you. Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
That ordinance stands approved. The next ordinance is ordinance number 2025-007.
An ordinance amending the codified ordinances of the City of Ravenna, Part 12, Planning and Zoning Code, Title 6, Zoning, Chapter 1268, Use Area and Height Regulations, Section 1268.09, C2, Heavy Commercial District, Subsection C, Conditionally Permitted Uses by removing Health Spa and Fitness Center from Section 1268.09, Section B7D, and adding health spa, fitness center, and massage establishment to Section 1268.09, Section C35 as conditionally permissible use.
Okay, this is the second of the three ordinances.
Correct. It's this,
Sponsored by planning?
Yep, similar to the last one. This is just for C2, the heavy commercial district. And again, something we've been discussing for quite some time as far as the massage establishments go.
Questions or comments from anyone? Is there a motion to waive the three separate readings?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And is there a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
That ordinance stands approved. The next ordinance is 2025-008.
An ordinance amending the codified ordinances, Section 12, Planning and Zoning Code, Title 6, Zoning, Chapter 1268, Use Area and Height Regulations, Section 1268.08, Central Business District, by removing Health Spa and Fitness Center from Section 1268.08, Section B7D, and adding Health Spa, Fitness Center, and Massage Establishment to Section 1268.08, Section C33 as a conditionally permissible use.
And
This
sponsored by
is,
planning.
applies to the central business district.
Questions or comments? Do we have a motion to waive the three separate readings?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
That ordinance stands approved. The next ordinance is ordinance number 2025-28.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into the first addendum to Community Reinvestment Area Agreement and declaring an emergency.
This one is sponsored by Community and Economic Development. Ms. Wood's not here tonight. Basically, this is just renewing, I guess is maybe the proper term, the CRA we established for this parcel. And it's taken, there's a new owner, there's a different purpose, and they're asking for some changes to the existing CRA. We went over those changes at a committee meeting. Does anybody have any questions about those?
No, just comment. It's great to see that this local business has taken on this property and plans to move all of their business into it. That's a lot of workers. The building's going to be put to good use, and transferring this agreement to the new business, I think, is a good thing for us to do to help them as they move along in this new business.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have a CRA, to kind of a give and take. It encourages better economic development and gives property owners a little relief from taxes. Any questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion to waive the three separate readings?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And do we have a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Abstain.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
It's too close
Mr.
to work.
Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay, that ordinance stands approved. We now move on to ordinances on second reading. The first ordinance there is ordinance number 2025-18.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into agreement with Lightspeed for fiber internet service and declaring an emergency.
This is sponsored by Information Systems. Mr. Maravich?
All right, this is the contract we're looking for. Better services at a very similar rate, only a slight increase for this one, and it's a great opportunity for the city to have better access for the internet. Any questions?
Questions or concerns about this ordinance? Okay, do we have a motion to waive the remaining readings for this?
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Do we have a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
That ordinance stands approved. We now move on to ordinances on third reading. The first one is ordinance number 2024-132.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign an easement to allow Portage Metropolitan Housing Authority, PMHA, to place a generator behind Ravenna City Hall and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this one is sponsored by Planning Committee, Ms. West.
Yes, we do not have this
Frank
yet.
and I are going to be working on an agreement.
Okay.
We just haven't had a chance to get together yet.
I've got a draft of it. I guess it hadn't gone to you yet?
No.
Okay. We'll get it to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, in that case, this has been lingering for quite a while.
It has.
Do we have a motion to postpone this ordinance for another month?
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Have a roll call.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay, that ordinance is postponed until our April meeting. The last ordinance on the third reading is ordinance number 2024-146.
An ordinance creating a new section of the codified ordinances of the City of Ravenna, Part 8, Business Regulation and Taxation Code, Title II, Business Regulation, by adding Chapter 864, Massage Establishments, Section 864.01, Definitions, Section 864.02, License and Registration Required, Section 864.03, Requirements for Massage Establishment, Section 864.04, Inspections, Section 864.99, Penalty, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this is sponsored by Public Health and Safety. Ms. Michael?
Yes, so finally, we are tying up both ordinances together. And again, we just wanted to make our city safer, tightening up the ordinance, putting things on for restrictions. We want to make it so just not any type of massage parlor can come into our city. This is protecting the reputable massage places that we currently have. So there had been some concern about that, and this is by no way to harm the people who have the education, the skills, and the businesses that we want in our downtown. So again, I don't want anyone to worry about that. These are for these businesses that are popping up in area downtowns that are not ones that we want. So again, this is for protection. So thank you.
Okay, this has been
Ongoing.
brewing for quite a while, and it was reviewed by some of our
Yes.
experts in this area, and pleased to see that they pretty much gave us slight suggestions, a stamp of approval.
One of the things we were discussing right at the end there was the penalties and the amounts. Did we arrive at a number that was agreeable to everyone?
There hadn't been any changes to that yet.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that again because we wanted to get this part of it done. And that is something that we are going to, we can talk about increasing the penalties and fines for the building owners for that. But I do agree that is something that that they should also be careful on who they're renting out and not just be concerned of the dollar amount of, making money on their property.
Any other questions or concerns about this ordinance? Okay, then do we have a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Calfee?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes. And a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Calfee?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay, that ordinance stands approved. That completes ordinances on third reading. We now move on to old business. Do we have any old business to discuss?
I would make a comment.
Oh, yeah, please.
This is a matter of public record, so it's not it's a lawsuit that we're involved with Dr. Miller and Mrs. Miller, but the case has now been removed to the federal court. And just to let you know that that has occurred, and we're moving forward with the case with Mr. Pinzone representing the city and Mr. John Latchney representing the library. And both of them were in concurrence with that removal.
Thank you.
Is that all?
That was where we are now. I'm not going to go any farther.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you for updating on us on that lawsuit. Do we have any new business? No? Okay, then we'll move on to remarks. So I didn't really prepare anything official, but many of you will recall that not too long after I assumed this role, I made the suggestion that maybe council participate in a retreat. And I've talked to some of you throughout the time. We didn't do it last summer. There was a suggestion maybe we'll do it over the winter break. I sent out some information about collecting information and seeing, kind of testing the enthusiasm level. And there are many on council who are very enthusiastic about the idea, but not universally enthusiastic responses. And I thought maybe, well, I could schedule it and see who shows up, but kind of defeated the purpose. I want people to be energized about an idea like that and not just feel like they have to participate. So obviously, time passed and I didn't really pursue it. But I've been trying to think of different ways to engage council on other things other than just showing up at our meetings and pretty much responding to the needs of others in the city, and being a little bit more strategic. I know we do have the comprehensive plan, and that'll be something that will inspire us to do some, hopefully, some innovative things. But part of the retreat, along with getting to know each other a little better and maybe being better coordinated and understanding each other's needs, was to inspire strategic planning or thinking outside the box, whatever you want to call it. So one idea I came up with, and again, I'm not going to just do this without consulting with all of you, was maybe having a monthly meeting, even just for like a half an hour, maybe before one of our regularly scheduled meetings, and with nothing really planned other than to talk about what's on our mind and what we think we might be able to do as a city council to improve the city. I would ask you all, if we do that, to think about things that interest you, and then listen to others who do bring things to the table, and then talk about how we might pursue those ideas. Because I think sometimes, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but we feel like we get this packet of information and we got to read it and we've got to understand what everyone else is asking of council to do, but we don't have as much time to do the planning and the thinking and the brainstorming that we otherwise could be doing. So normally remarks aren't a dialogue or debate, but I'm curious to see, and you don't have to tell me tonight, you can email me, you can call me or whatever, but would there be some reception to say, starting in April before the committee meetings, to start at like 5:30? Because a lot of us come early anyway. Yeah. And just start the meeting and then, talk for a half hour, see where it goes. We could try it for a few months, and if it doesn't really do anything, we can stop doing it. It wouldn't be a mandatory meeting. We really don't need a quorum because there will be no action taken. Public would be welcome to come and listen to us ramble on. Anybody, any thoughts about that?
I think it's a great idea, just because I think a lot of us, there's a lot of things that we have on our own kind of agendas, things that
Right.
we want to improve or make better. And it gives us the opportunity to see if anybody else on council is willing to move forward with that idea.
Well, and again, I don't want to put anybody in the spot. Feel free to communicate with me after this meeting if you have some private thoughts about it. And I'm not going to schedule anything certainly for this month, but I'll contemplate scheduling we'll just call it a special meeting, work session. Okay, thank you. We'll start with Mr. Harper tonight. Your remarks.
Nothing additional this evening, thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Michael?
I'm going to be quiet tonight. I think I've spoken enough through the month.
Thank you. Mr. Maravich?
Oh, nothing offhand.
Okay. Mr. Moskin?
Yes, this is just very brief. I want to thank Mr. Brigant and Mrs. Young for coming and making their presentations and their comments. It gives us a little bit more info. That's all.
Thank you.
It's a question about the West Main Street widening, and I saw that they're marking some lines, and I'm curious, are we getting ready to start that project of moving the curbs back and the sidewalks? No, it was being marked for some other reason.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it would be being marked,
Okay.
but
What-
we
when
maybe
it-
won't be, I'm hoping 2026 we'll finish it.
Okay, so it's not on schedule for this summer?
It was too risky for me to bid it out and have the poles not be relocated.
Everything off of them? Okay,
First Energy and AT&T have completed their work. It's the underlying lines that are very difficult to get a hold of.
okay,
Old fiber lines and that sort of thing.
okay. I thought we might have made a breakthrough on that, and we're ready to go. Okay, thank you.
Ms. West?
All right. I actually do have a couple things tonight.
Right.
Just really quick, the abstention on the CRA. I love CRAs. I don't want anyone to think otherwise, but due to my job at Portage DD, I certainly did not feel comfortable voting on that. So March is DD Awareness Month, DD Pride Month. You guys will all be getting an email from an employee of Portage DD inviting you to some of the events. One of the events is a advocacy group that meets at Reed Memorial Library on Tuesday, March 11th from 10 to 11. They're looking for public officials to come and just kind of talk about what they do for their communities, as well as for public officials to be able to listen to people that we support, and so they can, feel heard and see if there's some change that they can make in their community. The other event that they're doing is on Sunday, March 30th, there's going to be a bowling event. And they're asking legislators to stop by if they're able to do that. If you don't feel comfortable speaking up, and talking, maybe bowling and hanging out with us on a Sunday. Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun, Rob. And our DD rally is going to be on the 27th at 10 a.m. here out on the courthouse lawn. So if you're able to join us for that, I think it's really important for our community to get to know each other, regardless of what part of the community you're in. And the folks that we serve, they want to know who's representing them, and they want to know who's helping make the decisions in their lives. So for us to be able to go and introduce ourselves and really, share what we do and how they can help us make it better is really important. So they are a huge part, anyone that receives services from Portage DD is a huge part of our community. And it's changed so much over the years for anyone that's been around a while, and it's really neat to see how far we've come at Portage DD. So anyone that is able to go, there's also a list of events on our website. The other thing that we're doing is on, I think it's March 18th, I'm doing an open house at our smart home, our tech home. So if anyone's interested to come and tour that, Tyler stopped by for a little bit when I was out there working. We have some equipment out there to support people with being able to live a little bit more independently. So whether it's learning how to use an Alexa, whether it's smart alarms, smart sensors, seizure mats, all kinds of different things that we have out there to showcase so that people with disabilities can live as independently as they can. So we are having all that going on, and I just want to invite everybody to that.
And we will be getting notices of
Yep.
dates and times
Absolutely.
and places. Good, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Unfortunately, we don't have the mayor with us tonight, so we won't be getting an update from him. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, just real quick,
Mr. Finney.
the contractor is pouring the water tank foundation tomorrow morning. So that is still progressing.
All right.
Stay out of its way, though, because they're going to be very busy.
I won't go up there.
I have pictures I'll show you.
He looked right at me and said that.
Yeah. Thank you. We still need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, good night, everyone.
They're on the